Right, okay. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this webinar to get to know more about us, know more about engineering, about what ACT is about, what can we offer, and how can we support you and provide you with the required knowledge and experience that you might be looking for within the engineering industry. So to start with, we will look into a few things. So what can you do really with a bachelor in engineering degree? If you are working in industry, if you are a technician, if you are a supervisor, and you want to get a degree on top of this. So what can you do with it, and how is it going to be beneficial to you? It's going to be me, Abdul Shalan. I am the program leader for Industrial Automation program, and we have Daniel. He is our student support officer that supports the students in all sorts of requirements, IT applications, and stuff like this. So for the agenda of today, we will discuss why choosing engineering in general, and we will talk about why would you choose ECT. We will discuss our engineering or bachelor programs, how do we teach, our student support, and then we're going to wrap up with Q&A if you have any. So to start with, we have to really know why would we want to study engineering. If you are working already in a factory or if at a company and you have any sort of engineering application that is working around you, whatever the industry that you are working with or at, you can start to think or ask the question, well, why would I need to study? And why would I need to spend all the time to go over different modules and do exams and all of this? So first thing you have to think about, you start to think about that engineering is a very global demanded qualification in general. So any factory or any company that produces a product or delivers a service of any kind, it will have some sort of engineering applications with it. And you will start to see that this engineering application, whatever it is, it has a huge impact on industry, it's a huge impact on the country's GDP, and it is a very demanded thing. You start to see this in China and how China now is known by the factory of the world. And that's because they really excelled in engineering and they are very qualified and knowledgeable in engineering subjects that they are now able to do anything and everything. Looking from what you're going to gain out of it, well, the differences in pays are very substantial. When you have a degree, your pay increases dramatically. You start to feel the impact of all the efforts and the sweats that you had through the degree. So it is very rewarding. In general, what you do, instead of being, for example, a technician that you work in a factory to run a certain process or to do certain things, you start to look into problem-solving applications. So you start to look into how can I do things in a different way or in a better way? How can I improve my company? How can I improve productivity? How can I integrate different sets of machineries or different sets of technologies? And how can I make a change in what I do? There are different pathways that you can choose from when you're studying engineering. Our focus is on two specific programs or two specific pathways, which we will discuss in a second. But in general, you can start to look into engineering applications in different things or in different industries. You will always have the opportunity as a qualified engineer to work on a very impactful, sustainable, and future-focused project. Anything that needs to be developed, and you will see that within your country, if it is the UK or elsewhere, you will see that the country or the government itself has its own initiatives that they want to be a sustainable country. They want to be the leader in renewable energy. They want to be the leader in smart cities, whatever the different things that the country will have the initiatives to do. And this will be your role as an engineer. You can be the leader for all of these initiatives. You are a qualified person that knows the subject matter from theoretical background and practical application, and you will be more than qualified to lead such initiatives. So you will find yourself engaged with very interesting applications and projects in the future. Engineering skills in general, it is a transferable skills. So whatever you learn anywhere, you will start or you can transfer or you can apply this knowledge and technical experience anywhere at any country. The UK is known by it is a leader in education. So the UK is very good and excelled for many years in how can a specific subject matter can be delivered, how teaching should be, and how are the different elements should be delivered. How can we develop a person that is able of knowing the subject matter and being able to develop him, her, or himself in the future. So from UK perspective, you'll be sure that you are getting a very useful piece of information, and you will get, beside all the technical knowledge, you will get all the different soft skills that can help you to develop and lead projects and improvements in whatever project that you are working on. So as we just said, you can have a really impactful career. You can lead really interesting initiatives and projects that can be within your company or within your area or within your country in general. So when you think about engineering, you think about the ability for problem solving. So it is all about how can I do things in a different way. And it came from us as humans and the need to change what we do. We were never satisfied with what we have. And that was the main drive behind all the developments we have. First thing, we used to ride a horse, and then we were not happy with that horse. And then we did stick a cart to this horse. And then now, well, it's still very slow and not comfy. So can we change that horse? Okay, let's put an engine instead of the horse. It's not still that good. So can we make a better car? And then, well, cars are still anyway slow. Can we make a plane? And you can start to see this is the engine behind us as humans and behind all the developments we have. We were never happy with what we have. We were always looking for better solutions for everything we have. And that's why we are where we are at the minute. And you can start to apply this on any different sectors. And everything around you is built by engineers in general. So if it is a house, if it is a device that you're using, if it is a machine that you're using, a car, a plane, your mobile phones, your desk, everything you have has been built by engineers. Besides different technical or different special areas as well, but mainly the solutions came from engineers. Engineers are the ones that come up with the fundamental or the idea or the engine behind any solution that you might get. So as an engineer, you will start to have this mentality. You will start to think as a problem solver and how can you make things differently. And this is what you learn from studying engineering. So now we know why would you want to have an engineering qualification. But the question now, it's all about why do you want to do it with the ACT? Why do you want to study with the ACT? So the ACT has been is a sister company for a very known institute in Australia that has been working for many years, and they specialist in engineering and technology. So we really know our subject matter. We know how it should be delivered, and we know the links, or we know the importance of how can we have, or why should we have an industry-focused applications and education. So we are not like any other place that we just teach you theory and lab-based applications, rather than we really get you ready to industry by having you, or by getting you, or prepping you and linking you to actual industrial applications. We link this in our teaching, in our assessments, and in our different internship applications or programs that we support you to have. We send you out to companies. We give you these knowledges and we bridge the gap between academia and industry. So once you finish your study with the ACT and you start to go back to industry or you continue the work wherever you are working, you will start to see that, well, this is not different. And what I did learn actually exists wherever I'm working or wherever I will be working. We are globally recognized, so our qualifications are known and recognized worldwide. So you don't have to worry that, well, would this be available or would this be applicable elsewhere? It is, and you have to be rest assured that it is the case. The mode of our teaching is online, and we are focused on online, or we did choose to follow this path of teaching in order to tackle or to support people that are not able to free their time 24/7 or for the entire week or few days in the week to go to the university and to attend classes at specific times or periods. You might be working and have a job and have a family, and this is what we want to support you with. We want you to continue to have a career. We want you to be able to still support your family and to do whatever your day-to-day life tasks, however they are, and we work around you and support you in order to get this piece of information and education. And you start to think, well, if everything is online, how am I going to get around things? Am I going to be fully isolated? What if anything wrong happened? If I needed some sort of support in running a software or running a program or understanding anything in general? We got you in this. So what you have a personalized student support, and Dan is going to speak about this later on to tell you more about it. So you always have someone that can answer your questions, whether it is a technical aspects for how can you do things, or whether it is teaching and educational aspects. So you would have a personal academic tutor. Every student is designated an academic, and this academic will support you if you have any questions about anything within the subject matter. We have a global learning community because now we are online, we are accessible for everyone around the globe. So you will start to get engaged with people from different countries, different mentalities, backgrounds, different applications and industry. You start to get this knowledge about different areas. You'll get people, let's say, from China, from Africa, South Africa, for example, Nigeria, from Brazil, from wherever it is. And each of these regions, they have different way of doing things and have different applications and challenges. And this is how we get everyone together. How can we get you with people from different places? And this is something that is very valuable. With everything, you can always hear that people that travels a lot knows a lot, and that's because they start to talk to different people from different countries. They get familiar with different cultures, and this is the same thing. This is what happens. We get you around with different peoples from different cultures and different applications and different challenges, and this is how you start to develop, and this is how you start to have global experience. Our education is accessible and very high quality education. We are following the UKPRN framework. We are following something called the AHEP. We are adhering to the OFS, Office for Students regulations. We are following all the high standards for universal design for learning criteria. How can we teach you in different ways? How can we assess you in different ways? How can we develop your technical and theoretical knowledges and soft skills in many different ways? So as an engineer, we understand the fact that once you finish, you will not, and you start working, you will not be stuck in a room with people. If you've been given a task, for example, so if you are working at a factory and well, you've been given a task to develop certain system, for example, you will not be locked in a room and told that, well, you have to go and do it without asking anyone, without having any aid or support from anything. We do get the fact that you have to work with people, you have to have discussions, you have to have brainstorming applications, and how can you get everyone around and work together in a team in order to deliver the best solution possible. And this is something that we value, and this is something we include in our education. To tell you a little bit about what we deliver or what do we have to offer, we basically have only 2 undergraduate programs. We have a Bachelor of Engineering in Industrial Automation and a Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering. We did choose these 2 areas because of how substantially they are needed and demanded globally. If it is within the UK, there is a really high demand for engineers within industrial automation and electrical power systems. So for industrial automation, you start to think, well, what can I do with industrial automation? Any factory that exists has some sort of industrial automation application. You have some sort of a machine, and this machine is doing something, producing certain product. If you are making ready meals, for example, if you are making Pepsi's or Coca-Cola, if you are making mobile phones, if you are making screens, laptops, if you're making tables, any of these factories that makes these products, we have specific machines that have some sort of industrial automation application and needs to be maintained, needs to be run perfectly, and needs to be within the highest standards. And that is the need for the industrial automation. I always come across companies that I work with that they always say they have to shut down different lines or they have to stop the factory because they cannot find people to work. They cannot find appropriate engineers that can run this production line. And they start to go elsewhere, different countries that might have this level of experience. So within the UK, there is a really high demand for industrial automation. The same thing for electrical engineering. You start to think that, well, I'm not just going to be wiring cables at home. You will be working with all the energy companies, for example. So whether it is the basic or the normal energy companies, EDF, for example, or any of these local companies, if you are working with the national grid, if you are working with nuclear applications and you're working in the nuclear site for energy generations, all of these jobs need electrical engineers. And this is very highly demanded jobs and very highly paid jobs. So requires a lot of experience, requires a lot of intelligence in order to do it. So that's why we did choose to deliver these 2 undergraduate programs, very demanded programs, everywhere within the country, very rewarding programs, and this is what you start to focus on. Another example for electrical engineering is the main hot topic of renewable energy. This is something that you can be very heavily engaged with. All of these applications for renewable energy, whether it is a wind energy, if it is the wind, solar, hydro, whatever it is, all of this is relevant to electrical engineering. And all of this, you will get taught all of these subjects and to be very familiar with them. So this is what we deliver, and we make sure that you are very much familiar with how the actual industrial applications or practical aspects of it gets taught. So we deliver and we use state-of-the-art softwares for all of these applications. So you would be very much familiar with the industrially led softwares that is getting used in industry in order to be specialized in these areas. So as we just said, we are an online university. So an online university, well, now how am I going to learn all of these different things? So we have different modes of teaching. So as we just mentioned, and Dan is going to explain this more, we have a dedicated learning support officer. And then we have a couple of different elements. So generally what you will get, you will get a lecture, and this is going to be a pre-recorded lecture that you have access to and you can review it at any time. So whenever you are free and whenever you can do it, day, night, afternoon, whenever it is, you know that the lectures are going to be there for you to review and to listen to and watch it. And then you were going to have live tutorials, which we will start to carry out the practical elements of these different lectures. Each class will have a theoretical applications, relevance in the lecture, and then you will have actual practical element within a live tutorial. So you will be within your with your teacher, uh, carrying out all of these different examples, all of these practical elements. We have something called remote and virtual labs. And these are the things that makes us stand out. We will talk about them and we will see how they work next. So what are our remote and virtual labs? We know that you are studying online, so you don't have, or you will not be able to come to the university or to our campus. You might be wherever in the world. So our solution for this is the remote labs and the virtual labs. The remote labs are actual physical labs. So we have different sets of machineries and we have different sets of kits that are relevant to all the different subjects. And what we did, we gave you the access to these machineries remotely. So what you will have, basically, you will have a remote access to these machineries, and you will have a camera that can show you what is happening and what this machine is doing. And you will be able to interact with this machine. You will be able to program it. You will be able to do whatever you want to do and test your theories. You test your applications, and you can start to see that physical, actual machine is doing whatever you want it to do. Looking at the virtual labs, so we did select top of the industry and the most recognized industrial softwares for simulation. And these simulation softwares, they mimic the real life applications, and they will show you how can you do different things, whether it is related to design, whether it is related to electric circuits applications, and how can you design a grid, how can you design an automated system, and it can show you an actual simulation of what the real life application can be and how could it be. And we have dedicated softwares and packages for every module that you will teach. So this is, in general, what engineering is about, what are we about, how we do things. You will never be by yourself. You will don't think that, well, if it's online, I'm just going to be isolated. We will make sure you're not. We will put you in groups with people. We will make you and force you to work with others, interact with others whenever it is possible, and we will accommodate everyone's needs. So don't worry if you have a very busy schedule. We will work around you. We will know, or we will find ways to support you. If you needed any support along the way, you will always have someone that can answer your questions, someone that can guide you through and help you to do things. We really understand how busy people can be and why would you choose a certain way of education. And that's why we always try to overcome any issues that might happen and accommodate everyone's need, whatever these needs are. If it is within accessibility, for example, we have all the dedicated softwares that can help your accessibility needs in order to carry out your education. So what makes us stand out in comparison to any normal university, that we have education that is accessible for everyone and every need. You will not be limited to certain setbacks that you might have in your life, whether it is life commitments or physical disabilities or mental disabilities, whatever the things that you might have and might think that it is setting you back and it is not letting you get the education or pursue the path that you look for. We got you, and we understand this very well, and we know how can we support you with it. I hope that was helpful to you from the academic point of view. And now I'm going to hand over to Dan, that is going to tell you more about student support and how it works.
Thank you, Abdu. Yep. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel DeFalco. I am one of the learning support officers here at the ECT. So just to give you a bit of information regarding what I will do for you, we use Moodle as our online learning platform. It's our virtual learning environment. So you will find that is your main resource for academic and non-academic support. All modules will have a dedicated learning support officer like myself, who will be your main point of contact for any non-academic support. Unfortunately, I'm not a subject matter expert in engineering. That's why we have people like Abdu here, who will be able to help you with the academic side. But if you have got any issues around assessments, assignments, any questions regarding access or support with, for instance, the remote labs or virtual labs, if you need some non-academic support in terms of like personal support or well-being, we are here to support with that as well. We are always available via email. You can also call into the office as well, and I believe that you should have access to Teams as part of your setup with ECT, so you'll have your own ECT email address, etc. And we can always communicate via Teams as well. You will always have support 5 days a week while there's somebody here, so you can always reach out and get in touch. There's plenty of help and opportunity that we can provide you to assist in your study. Ultimately, we want you to have the best learning experience possible, and that involves having support from your lecturers and tutors, as well as from the learning support team here as well. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Dan. That was useful. Assuring, I guess, if I'm a potential student thinking about it, yeah, it will be definitely better to know that there is someone that can help me in doing whatever I'm doing. So I hope that was useful to you, everyone, and I hope that was that did manage to give you a really good kind of an overview of how we do things. Please get in contact if you have any questions about any academic related matter, if any support or anything that you might want to get familiar with. We are always here to answer your questions. We are always here to support you. Our main goal is to have or to provide a very much of an accessible education to everyone, and it includes you and includes everyone. So please get in contact. Do not really feel that I might have silly questions or something that is irrelevant. Everything or every question is relevant. Please go on our website to view our courses, to view whatever you might want to know more about our different modules, our structure, and what you're going to study if you decided to join us. And our emails are always there. They will be sent afterwards. Get in touch, give us a call, email us, ask whatever you might have in your mind, and we are always happy to help. So thank you very much for listening to our talk today, and hopefully we'll see you in the future.